Hello, friends. Sleep Tight Stories, Sleep Tight Relax, and Sleep Tight Science are now available to play on Story Button, the device that makes it easy to listen to our shows and more without having to use a phone or tablet. This month, you can save $10 at storybutton.com when you use the code SLEEPTIGHT. Story Button, the home of imagination. Hello, I'm Sheryl, and this is Sleep Tight Relax, a calming bedtime show for the young and young at heart. Take a great big belly breath. Stretch a little if you like, because it's time to get cozy in bed and listen to our story. In this story, Bernice is telling Papa Bear about her day at school. She tells him about the project that she and Bobby are working on and that she has a presentation to do for English, and she is feeling nervous. She has to read a book and then tell the class about it. But all the kids in her class are new. She hasn't really made friends with any of them yet. She talks to Papa Bear about how she feels, and he says he will help her with her nervousness. At the end of our story, we will leave you with some gentle music to help you continue to a deep, restful sleep. Bernice learns how to relax at bedtime. "Hi, Papa, I'm home," yelled Bernice as she walked in the front door of their small house, kicking off her sneakers and quietly closing the door. "I smell something super yummy, which is really good because I am also super hungry," she said. "Welcome home, little bear. I'm cooking Brussels sprouts. That must be what you smell." After hanging up her jacket, Bernice hopped into the kitchen. "There is no way that what I smell is Brussels sprouts, Papa. I sort of like Brussels sprouts, but they don't smell as yummy as what I smell." "Okay, let's test that nose of yours. What do you smell?" Papa Bear asked with a smile. Wrinkling up her nose and taking a great big sniff, Bernice said, "I smell vanilla and chocolate and another sweet smell. I smell yummy goodness, so it must be one of my favorite cookies." "Ha ha ha, you are right, little bear. I made chocolate chip cookies for us today, but used big chunks of chocolate this time. I hope you like them." "You know I always love your treats," Bernice said as she washed her hands. Putting a plate of cookies and milk on the table, Papa asked, "So, how was your day at school today? I want to hear all about it." "It was a super exciting day, Papa. Bobby and I get to work together on a science project. It's going to be about superpowers." "Superpowers?" Papa Bear asked. "Yeah. Did you know that some animals have superpowers?" "Like bats. They have ultrasonic hearing. They emit high-pitched sounds that bounce off stuff, creating echoes they can hear. And they use these echoes to build a map in their mind of their environment by listening to the echoes. And this helps them catch bugs, and then they eat them. And certain snakes and insects can see heat as colors. Isn't that cool? They have special sensors or something that detects the heat coming off objects. This helps them find food in the dark, making them better nighttime hunters. It's like having night vision goggles built right into their eyes. Just think, Papa, if we had night vision, we could eat cookies in the dark. Ha ha ha, that might be fun. Yeah, I think so. Bobby and I were in the library reading a couple science books for our project, and he got a little distracted and read other books. He read a story about getting struck by lightning, and he said that's how the Flash got his superpowers. He is into superpowers lately, and not so much dinosaurs. Do you know who the Flash is, Papa? I mean, you might not be so current on the latest superheroes and such because, well, you know. I know the Flash, little bear. I'm old, but not that old. Bernice smiled and said, I know, you are super young for a papa. Bobby said that the Flash gained his superpowers after being struck by lightning while working in his lab. Getting struck by lightning doesn't sound very fun, but I could win against Mama in a race if I had super speed. I could be the fastest runner ever, and maybe forever. If you had a superpower, Papa, what would it be? I'm pretty happy being just the way I am, Papa Bear said. Oh, Papa, just use your imagination. I know, I'll guess. Maybe you could make cookies super fast, read all the books in your library instantly, or give super strong bear hugs. Haha, okay, those sound great, but if I used my imagination, flying would be pretty fun. Then I could grab your hand and Mama's hand, and we could fly somewhere interesting every weekend. That would be fun, Papa. Maybe we could fly to a beach in Australia. And I bet they have nice places to buy cookies there, too. Or maybe we could fly to the North Pole. That would be fun. The North Pole would be pretty cold, too, little bear. I think I might pick Australia first. Yeah, we could fly to Australia and get warm, then fly to the North Pole and get cold, and then fly back to Australia to warm up again. Ha ha ha, that sounds like fun. So, other than the project with Bobby, what else happened at school today? I have some hard English homework that I am super worried about, and it's making me super nervous. What is the homework you are so worried about? I have to read a book, write a report about it, and get up in front of the class and introduce it to everyone. That doesn't sound so bad, little bear. You love reading books, and you read really well. You said you might have even read many of the books on your reading list. I read the book already, but all my classmates in English class are new. I mean, we haven't really become friends yet, so getting up in front of them to talk makes me even more super nervous. Everyone is there to support you, little bear. Well, I don't think Billy, who sits in the back of the class, is. He isn't always nice like the rest. Well, most people are. And sometimes, being nervous is a sign that something good is about to happen. Like you giving a great talk about the book you read. It's hard to be brave, little bear, but you are the bravest little bear I know. And I am sure if you try hard enough, you can do anything. Thank you, Papa. Why don't you finish that last cookie on the plate and start your homework while I finish dinner? These cookies are super yummy, Bernice said as she finished the last one. I'm glad you like them. If you have any questions, Mama and I are here to help. That night, Bernice was brushing her teeth when Papa Bear came to check on her. "I'm just about finished brushing my teeth, Papa," Bernice said, spraying toothpaste all over the bathroom mirror as she talked. "I can see that," Papa Bear said with a laugh. Later, as she was trying to get comfy in bed, making sure that Twigga, Wolfie, and Madeline were comfy too, Bernice said, "Papa, I really appreciate all the help you and Mama gave me tonight, but I still feel nervous. So nervous, I don't even know if one of your stories can help me to go to sleep." "Okay, little bear. Did you try taking great big belly breaths like I showed you before?" "I think so." "Why don't we try taking some deep belly breaths together again and see if it helps you to relax?" "Do you get nervous, Papa?" "I don't believe you ever get nervous." "Of course I get nervous. I used to get nervous a lot, especially when I had to speak in front of a group of people. Even with lots of practice and experience, I would still get nervous or excited. And to help, I would take some great big belly breaths. I still do it before bed if I have trouble sleeping. Stories and breathing help Mama and me a lot." "Okay, can you show me again?" "Actually, I have an idea. Why don't I explain it again, but this time as a story? You can take some deep belly breaths along with the story. We can practice taking great big belly breaths again tomorrow night, too. Who would you like our main character to be?" "I'm not sure. Maybe a character from the mystical forest? I like thinking about Boo Boo and Kai Kai and eating treats near the chocolate tree and stuff, but maybe someone different this time." "Okay, get comfy, close your eyes, and try to follow along." Once upon a time, in a world full of magic and fun, there lived a brave little bear named Boo Boo. She lived in a large castle at the edge of a mystical forest. In this forest were unicorns, fairies, gnomes, and all manner of insects, birds, and animals. It was a wonderful place. Her best friend was a young dragon called Kai Kai, and they liked to play as much as they could. The kingdom they lived in was full of people who lived in the meadows, people who lived in the hills, and those who lived in the forest, and they all lived in harmony. It was nighttime, and Boo Boo and Kai Kai had long since gone to bed. In fact, you could tell Kai Kai was already asleep, because if you listened carefully, his loud snores were being carried by the wind from high up in the mountains down into the valley and forests. It sometimes sounded like thunder. Though they were both in bed asleep, one young fairy, Liliana of the luminescent leaves, was having a hard time getting to sleep. Her father, Bramblethorn, keeper of the ancient oaks, sat beside her trying to help her. Liliana lay in bed, her eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling. Tomorrow, she had to get up in front of Bixie and give a presentation, and she was super nervous. She sighed heavily. "Oh, there is no use telling a story tonight, Father. I think I will just stay up all night." Sleep is important for young fairies like yourself. How can you fly or make magic if you are half asleep? I have a different story that might help. Have you ever heard of the whispering wind, Liliana? Liliana shook her head. Her father continued, "Well, the whispering wind is a magical force that helps calm those fairies who listen closely to its stories. It was created by a wise old fairy long before even Bixie was born. Would you like to learn how to listen?" "Yes, please." "All right," her father began. "First, you need to find a comfy position. You can either sit or lay down." Liliana laid down and snuggled into the flower petals she used as pillows. "Now, close your eyes," her father said gently. "Imagine you are in a beautiful meadow with the softest grass beneath you. The lilies are in full bloom and the leaves are purple and red. The sky is crystal clear and the gentlest of breezes, the whispering wind, is making the leaves gently glow brighter and seem to float upwards." Liliana pictured herself in the meadow. Feel how the wind moves around you. Now, I want you to take a great big breath in through your nose, as if you are trying to catch all the stories the whispering wind is telling you. When one takes a deep breath in, the luminescent lilies glow brighter and seem to float upwards, ever so slightly, reacting to the rise of the belly. As the breath is released and the belly falls, the lilies dim their glow and gently descend back to their original position. Liliana took a deep breath, her belly rising and falling, just like the luminescent lilies glow and dim in the meadow. "Good," her father praised. "Now, hold it for a moment. Let the stories swirl around down to your belly, and then let the breath out slowly through your mouth, releasing all your worries into the wind." Liliana exhaled, feeling less nervous the more she focused on her breath. "That's all there is to it," her father whispered. "Do it again. Inhale the wind's stories, hold, and exhale your worries away." As Liliana repeated the exercise several times, she could feel the meadow around her becoming more real. The scent of the flowers in the air and the comforting stories of the wind filling her ears. "Now," her father continued, "every time you breathe in, imagine the wind is gifting you with strength, courage, and calmness. And every time you breathe out, you are letting go of the jitters, the nervousness, and the fears." Liliana's heart rate began to slow, and her nervousness about the presentation seemed so far away, almost as if it was being carried away by the wind. Her father gently said, "Remember this exercise whenever you feel nervous or anxious. You can do it lying in bed or just before your presentation." Liliana murmured, "Thank you. I love thinking of the meadow full of lilies I am named after while taking deep belly breaths. It helps me feel better. And maybe the whispering wind, if I listen closely enough, will tell me all kinds of secret stories. I'm happy that it helped you." Liliana's eyes felt heavy, and she nestled further into her bed. "Thank you," she whispered. Her father stood up, dimming the flowers that lit her room. Sleep well, he said. And with that, Liliana drifted into a peaceful sleep, filled with dreams of meadows, breezes, and a newfound strength to face the next day's challenges. And with that, Papa Bear gave Bernice a kiss on her forehead, adjusted her blanket, turned off her lamp, and quietly whispered, "I love you, little bear." And that is the end of our story. Good night. Sleep tight.